Most Eds, whether you need it or not, if you're looking for a bargain, this is the place to come. Sales are not the only thing Ed stages, and his sense of theatre has led him to build one. The famous Mr. Ed is Ed Mirvish.
We have 130 theatres belong to the Toronto Theatre Alliance, but there has never been a theatre in Toronto that could properly accommodate Miss Saigon. And this theatre was built specifically for Miss Saigon, and I hope you get a chance to see the show and see the theatre because it works very well.
Still gleaming after its recent opening, Ed Mirvish's Princess of Wales Theatre was one of the places I was most keen to visit. Now, a trip to a show in Britain can give me real problems, but here, like most buildings in Toronto, disabled access is taken for granted, with over 40 spaces for wheelchair users all around the theatre.
My Saturday night out, ice hockey at the Maple Leaf Gardens. Tonight, the home team were facing Detroit. But following the action here can be as demanding as eating one of these giant hot dogs. I needed some coaching in this game.
Players, you take a player out like that, you're going to get a penalty and hurt your team.
Okay, guys, okay. Come on, come on.
How about that for hands-on experience? And you can get it too at the brand new Hockey Hall of Fame. Sunday morning, and I had an appointment at a local watering hole.
Look at that now then. That's a fantastic view. That's superb. Oh, that's where Eamon is down there. He's in the boat. I hope he gets wet.
Cooey, Margaret! You have to be down here, though, to experience it in full.
Well, I don't know about you two, but I'll not forget that in a hurry. I'm soaked through, but I've had a great time.
Oh, we've had a wonderful time. We've been able to do so much in such a short time and have had absolutely no problems. And people are so friendly.
So what about future holiday plans? Any made?
We had been thinking about Hong Kong.
Oh, sounds a good idea.
Yeah, but you don't feature in our plans this time.
It's a thanks you get.
A two-night break in Toronto, staying at the Westin Harbour Castle in the autumn when we were there, costs £458. That's for flights and room only. The helicopter trip to Niagara Falls costs £35.50. And incidentally, all the places that Eamon visited are accessible for wheelchair users. If you'd like more information about holidaying for disabled travellers, we have a free booklet which includes specific information on all the holidays in this series. Please send a large stamped addressed envelope to Disabled Traveller, P.O. Box 7, London W36XJ. A version on audio cassette is available on request. Details of this and all the holidays on tonight's programme are on CFAX, page 688.
Murder, treachery and revenge. You'll find them all played out on a weekend break in the Midlands. The Royal Shakespeare Company organised trips to Stratford.
And we sent Shonka Gua to separate fact from fiction on the Shakespeare Trail.
The Shakespeare Trail begins here. The best bet is that he was born in this room, but no one knows for sure. He didn't leave any messages inscribed in the walls saying, Shakespeare was here, but others have. For over 300 years, Shakespeare's fans have been beating a path to this shrine, the more celebrated of whom have left their mark. Amongst those who left graffiti in the glass are the Victorian actress Ellen Terry and the writer Sir Walter Scott. Luckily, the 600,000 visitors who pass through the birthplace every year are discouraged from following suit. The view from the bus reveals you're deep in Bard country. A few miles out of town to Mary Arden's cottage, a beautiful half-timbered building which has been lovingly restored. Shakespeare's mum is supposed to have grown up here, but at least one academic reckons that's an arbitrary fantasy, dreamt up by an 18th century entrepreneur trying to talk up the tourist trade. The glorious Elizabethan garden at Anne Hathaway's cottage was only laid out in the 30s. It's another quaint old building, but who knows what it really looked like in Shakespeare's time. Indeed, did Shakespeare really marry Anne Hathaway? Did she ever live here at all? maddeningly little is known about the life of the world's most famous playwright. But we do know about his death. He shuffled off his mortal coil on St. George's Day, 23rd April 1616, and was buried with little ceremony at the local church. Why not finish off your tour of Stratford where Shakespeare finished his? His grave in the Holy Trinity Church is a surprisingly simple one. It doesn't even bear his name. What it does carry is a curse against anyone who would move his bones. It was time to rest my own bones back at the hotel, called, well, it had to be, the Shakespeare. Bed, board and bard being the all-inclusive deal in the weekend package. Where else can you arrive for a night at the theatre in such style? The Royal Shakespeare Company is the real gem of Stratford, and it's a shame that so few visitors who come to the city bother to see a performance. While the Avon flowed gently by outside, inside it was blowing up a storm. This is where you remind yourself what the Shakespeare fuss is all about.
How thou camest hither. I escaped upon a buttered sack, which the sailors heaved overboard by this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with mine own hands.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Yeah, swear then how thou escapest. Swum, shoreman, like a duck. I can swim like a duck.
At the Dirty Duck, across the road from the theatre after the performance, you can down a pint, rub shoulders with the lovies from the RSC, and review the whole Shakespeare business. Of course, there were no theatres in Stratford in Shakespeare's day. Now there are 3. But for my money, you'll find more living Shakespeare in those theatres than you will on much of the rest of what is, after all, a pretty bogus Shakespeare industry that's grown up around Stratford. As Will might have put it himself, that's entertainment.
Well, authentic or not, that stopover package in Stratford costs £71, staying for one night at the Shakespeare Hotel, and includes English breakfast, a theatre ticket for the Royal Shakespeare Theatre or the Swan, and dinner in the Box Tree restaurant. The price varies according to the standard of hotel. Next week, I follow in the footsteps of Victor Meldrew when I join a group of older people who are dipping one foot in the Algarve. Shonkagua celebrates Chinese New Year in Hong Kong. Cheryl Sims tries to find the perfect Greek holiday on the peaceful island of Skopelos. And Eamon Holmes stays at home for a break in a place that doesn't actually exist anymore, Rutland.
So until next week in the Algarve, it's goodbye from me and from all the Club Med Geos at Sandpiper. Goodbye.
A return ticket to Albert Square next on BBC One for more EastEnders.